All right, we're going to change it up this morning a little bit. Happy Wednesday. Superhero Winton Buddington in just a little bit. Sweethearts and Heroes Day. Yes, and I am wearing my Free Hugs shirt. Feels so good. When's the last time you've hugged yourself? At about 9:45, I'm going to open up the phones and give you an opportunity to enlighten me on what the hell's going on with this whole Israel thing. Man, has this hit a hot button here in central Vermont. We're going to get to it. We're going to talk about it. I promise you. Just hang in. Hang on. Here's a live shot, by the way, of North Main Street in Barrie. I know. Pretty dead. Not a lot of cars going by right now. That's the street view that I've got right now. Let's share with you what 89 looks like. It's pretty good. It's really not bad at all. I mean, I know there's a lot of schools that are running on a 2-hour delay this morning. There's a couple of schools that are closed. Here's the high spot right there in Brookfield. You know, a little slushy in some areas, but just go easy. You know, you do know. There's Brookfield again. Just be careful driving. Do not crowd the plow. Not only on the big roads, but also anywhere. And please be careful of the plows that are backing in and out of driveways this morning. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of busy people out there trying to clean up. So just be careful, all right? Fly in the Wall Productions bringing you the Aired Out podcast this morning. I am so happy to connect with you, happy to be alive. It is Wednesday. We have a lot to talk about. We have a very busy community calendar to get to, which is always brought to you by The World, Central Vermont's favorite weekly newspaper, with 22,000 plus people picking up a copy every single week. And being that it's Wednesday, Deb Phillips with us. Deb, good morning.
Good morning, JD.
How the heck are you over there?
Good. Little tricky getting into this morning, but
Yeah, a little messy. Little messy, not bad. I mean, I think most of us know how to drive in the snow by now, but still always a good reminder to exercise some caution and just be careful out there. What do we expect in the World newspaper today?
today, well, we have our annual business chronology and the year in review. We start with the oldest businesses, many of them in the 1800s, and then work our way through to the newest businesses.
Wow.
So that's always interesting. And then the year in review goes through, a little snippets of every month what we ran in the paper for 2025.
That is so cool. I look so much forward to checking that out.
We also have our reuse recycle directory. It includes the Benefit Shop, the Salvation Army store, the Refine Boutique, and Sally's Second Act that's now located in Waterbury.
Anything else that you can think of that you want to give a snapshot of this morning, Deb?
Oh, that's that pretty much covers it. We're getting everything ready for the year. Planning our promotions and going on through all of that. So yeah, it's actually a busy time.
It is, and this isn't something you guys. Today's issue isn't something you whip up in a couple of hours. I mean, you guys have been working on this for a long time. To compile all of that information is amazing. A ton of work.
It is. That business chronology has almost 70 ads in it. So that's
Wow.
that's a lot. Yes.
Well, thanks for coming on this morning, Deb. We always look forward to chatting with you on Wednesdays.
All right. Thanks, JD.
Yeah.
You have a good day.
You as well. And we always look forward to grabbing a fresh copy of The World. By the way, speaking of ads, if you want to place an ad, vt-world.com. Sales at vt-world.com. It's the World newspaper. every Wednesday. Comes out, and Deb Phillips joins us. $5 Wednesdays at the Paramount Theater. Don't forget, skip the line. Grab your tickets now, fgbtheaters.com. Follow at FGB Theaters on Facebook and Instagram for updates, added showtime, special events, and a lot more. FGB Theaters. Weather from NBC5, 27 right now in central Vermont. Today we're looking at snow showers. Pretty much over, I think. I mean, there's a little bit still falling outside. Take it to the street cam again. Double check here. Just some very, very light snow. But lower 30s later today for the high. Lots of, again, schools that are on delay this morning. A couple of them are closed. The list on the aired out page, be careful driving. Again, looks like tonight, 29 for the low. Yeah, warming up. I know. And then tomorrow, look at this, cloudy 37. By Friday, clouds, afternoon rain showers 43. Is this the January thaw? You tell me. Saturday, similar, but a little cooler, upper 30s. And then Sunday, rain and snow showers and 37. Mike Schumacher, Matt Abear, Crystal Palmer, Tyler Cahoon, Caitlin Kelly, Alina Tomasi, Jen Biscotti, Laura Lawrence, Pete Case, Annette Hart, Hope Bell, all celebrating birthdays today. Michelle Tatro. Looks like Jenna Salerno's on the list today. Caitlin Marie, Andy Wakefield, and Dakota LaFlamme. Wow. What a birthday list right there. This guy who is jumping on with me right now has probably one of the coolest names I think I've ever heard in my life. Winton Buddington. It is so English. Winton. Is it? Are you English, bud? Are you English?
The heritage goes English on both sides. So
yeah, I mean you don't sound like you're sporting any of that accent at all.
no, well, I grew up in Potsdam, so I'm a North Country, New York boy. So
yeah. We have a lot to get to this morning. Of course, Sweethearts and Heroes is who you represent. You represent a lot more than that, but that is the organization, the world's #1 youth. What did we say? Youth what? Engagement?
Youth. I define it: youth engagement, youth empathy, empowerment,
Youth
organization.
leadership. Organization, team, family, whatever you want to call it, in the world. You guys are, and I'm just going to say it like it is. You're kicking ass.
Yeah,
You guys really are. You're getting into so many schools. You got White River Valley High School coming up the end of this month. Tell me about that.
so we've got sponsorships this year. The Chevy dealers in Vermont have been awesome. So Key of White River is sponsoring a visit to the White River High School for a presentation in our community building circles. And then we pop over to South Burlington for sponsored by Key of Burlington.
Wow. You've been into these schools before.
Some of them we haven't. I don't believe we've been in South Burlington before, so that's a new school for us. And so some schools we've been in before, others this is the first time they're going to get our message, and then we hope to get back because our goal is really to work with schools and build in some of our sustainable practices.
What is that message primarily when you infiltrate a school, when you get in there and you plug in? What is the primary message? I mean, I know there's always been a huge anti-bullying campaign from Sweethearts and Heroes, but what else?
Well, and our anti-bullying message is really to the bystanders. It's about hope and empowerment and spreading. And for us, hope stands for hold on, possibilities exist. And so that when we go in and we're talking to students, we're helping them take a look at their struggles, their challenges. And one of the Rick Yarish's message, I mean, nobody's been through more than Rick. And when you compare your problems to Rick's, all of a sudden your problems don't seem quite as daunting. And it's just that message that we can empower students to find their superpowers and be there for each other to help each other through whatever anybody's dealing with, and and see each other and give each other the dignity that they deserve as human beings, and that building those relationships reduces bullying.
You know, we see so much, I know you do, where someone puts out on Facebook or has a private conversation, either one, with a friend, a coworker, a family member, something that they're going through right now. And it seems ever so often, and G and I have talked about this quite a bit, that folks that are on the receiving end of hearing what we're hearing often counter with their story of what they can relate to. And often that can be kind of misinterpreted as comparing. Who's got the worst story? Oh, I had some really rough ailments in this past year too, and blah 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 blah. And I was hospitalized 3 times, and then my cat died. And the thing about Rick and Tom, well, all of you, really, every single one of you, is that you guys never do that. You always say, yeah, I hear you loud and clear. Not, oh, I've had it worse than you, or, I love the fact that you guys are primarily listeners above and beyond all things. I mean, that's what you practice in your circle groups with students in these high schools. But man, it's not easy to not counter with something.
Well, and it's rooted in a understanding that, one of the ways that we work through our problems is to talk about if and as you need listeners, and we need to learn how to listen to each other, and that's one of the key parts of circle, is giving people the dignity to listen to what they're saying without trying to put our comparison in there and our thoughts in there, and oh well, I did this and I did that. It's really, let's give their story the chance that it deserves, to listen to them, and that helps us build that empathetic connection with them when we really start to listen to each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Sweetheartsandheroes.com if you want to learn more about everything they do. It is so multifaceted. You guys absolutely cannot be put into a box at all. I mean, yeah, I know, isn't that funny? I mean, you do so much, and not just in schools, but you also get into business. You guys have been working with linemen, and making a huge difference in their lives too.
Yeah, and it's really about our human connection and the power of human connection, and that's something we've gotten away from in our societies. We used to have all kinds of elks clubs and bowling alleys and places where people communed, and we've gotten away from that, and the circle brings that back and helps people understand that everybody's struggling with something, and we can be there for each other through their struggles and challenges.
Find some common ground. Walked up to the reception desk at the hospital the other day, and there's a note that was taped to the back of the monitor so that when you walk up, you're going to see it. It's impossible not to. That said something to the effect of, be kind, and you never know what someone else is going through. You don't know the depth of their story. You don't know the weight of what they're carrying around. And if, I look at that, my interpretation of that is a lot of things, but one of them is if somebody is a dink to you, it is so hard to not take that personally. But maybe to try, it's so difficult for so many of us, but try to step back and say, maybe it wasn't you that deserved that because of something that you said or did, but maybe it's just they're carrying a lot of weight. They're upset. They're ticked off at the world right now. So maybe that guy that flipped you off or gave you a dirty look when you came to that intersection at the same time, maybe he's got some real heavy shit going on in his life.
Yeah, and we talk about behavior as a form of communication. So it's just, are we understanding if other people are acting certain ways, they're communicating to us through those behaviors, and it doesn't mean it's necessarily something we should take personally.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about what Winton Buddington does. Give us a typical day snapshot of what you do for Sweethearts and Heroes.
Well, I just give you today. So we're chatting this morning, and then I've got 3 calls with schools coming up following this podcast, and we're talking about how our programs integrate with their systems and where they want to go next with our programs. One of them is about the schedule for the presentations and how we optimize that for the school to get the most out of our visit. And then part of my day is planning and communication back with people who we're going to see coming up in February to make sure they're thinking about our schedules and where we're going, and then talking to a couple districts about next year, because as a former building principal, this time of year I was telling my staff I'm already planning 26-27 school year. This year's all set. It's going to run itself out, but this is the time that schools start planning for next year.
Winton, do you know off the top of your head how many schools Sweethearts and Heroes has been in the past year or 5?
Oh, not off the top of my head.
Are we talking hundreds over
yeah,
the
we're
last?
talking hundreds.
Hundreds.
Yeah.
Wow. Across a region
Yeah.
that's...
I mean, we've probably been in over 1,000 schools in the history of Sweethearts and Heroes. So.
Wow. Across a region of what? New England mostly?
Vermont, New York, Pennsylvania primarily, but we've done some work in other states, a couple other schools in other states as well, here and there. So, and then it's also Tom and Rick have presented to Marines and, like you said, businesses and linemen, and so
Yeah.
It's all over.
Unions, yeah.
Yeah.
I've had some folks say, "Hey, those guys that you have on Wednesday, where are they from? What's that all about?" Sweethearts and Heroes is something that started right here in Vermont, St. Albans.
Yep. Tom's from St. Albans, and the origin was working with a school in New York that one of his buddies was at, who lost a student through suicide. And but the team is all over. I'm in Rochester, New York. Basically Rick's in Binghamton, Pat Fish is in Albany area, Josiah's in the Hartwick area, Brian's up in St. Albans now near Tom, and Loudon's up there too. So we're from all over the region.
Some of these guys are coming back up north in January with some pretty nice looking tans. Let's be honest. They've been down enjoying a week or so down in the tropics, well deserved, and Loudon's going to come back and continue to wear his flip-flops up here in the snow. I think we both know that. But you guys are you guys are such just a happy family that works so closely together, even if you're far apart. I mean, you're always moving. You guys are always moving around. I don't know if I've had you in the studio yet, though. You're way over in where Binghamton, New York.
No, I'm in Rochester.
Rochester. All right.
And actually, right now I'm in Indianapolis, Indiana, because we came out here for Christmas, for the holidays, with my brother-in-law and mother-in-law.
Wow.
So.
I got to tell you, man, as I said a few days ago on the air, and I had Brian and I think Loudon was on, Tom was on. You guys have made such a positive impact on me in the past year. Personally, of course, I think everything that's on the air is pretty obvious. You've had a huge impact on my listeners, my followers, folks that have told me they have gone back and re-listened to certain episodes that we've done together on Wednesdays with you and some of the other guys. And that it has really, really had a profound impact on their lives. And mine personally, man. I mean, it's and I say this almost every Wednesday, and I mean it. When the mics are off, the lights get shut down, you guys give me so much inspiration, but more than that I carry throughout the rest of the day and the week, especially when I'm in the car. Just reflecting on some of the things you guys have said is really amazing stuff, man.
Well, one of the things I enjoy about working with Sweethearts and Heroes is what we do in the programs that we've developed and the presentations are all grounded in research. They're grounded in theory. And we've just taken those theories and worked them into practices that people can learn how to do. So that when you run a circle, it's grounded in theories around development, relationship development. It's grounded in theories about empathetic connection. It's grounded in, but you don't have to know all those theories. You just have to learn how to do circle, and you're doing all of those things. And that's what I really enjoy about being part of the team at Sweethearts and Heroes. Is it's not just something that we've come up with and say, hey, let's do this. It's got a solid ground that we're building the activities and that we do on, and then people can wrap their arms around and utilize.
One of the big things that I try to hang my hat on here at Aired Out is relatability. And sometimes you got someone who's listening, who's impacted by something, and it is saturated with relatability. And sometimes you got someone who can kind of relate. The same thing, man, when you guys are in a school in front of a live crowd, you're connecting with so many kids that they're not standing up saying, oh, I can relate. You don't know how much they're relating, whether it's bullying or whether it's tough times going on outside of the classroom that they're bringing to school, whatever it may be. Relatability is, frankly, I mean, it's almost everything, dare I say.
And we've been very fortunate. Tom has many stories, and one of the recent ones he just presented in a school district, and a teacher came up to him and said, hey, I saw you when I was in middle school, and it was such a tough time for me. You made such a difference in my life. And she's now a middle school teacher in that school that they presented at again.
Wow. And
so we've had those opportunities where people have shared with us, after the fact, hey, your message is really carried with me and made a difference in my life.
Yeah. And it was tough for Tom, too, because he's realizing that time is ticking by and he's getting older. You have been listening to a podcast that you introduced me to. And you were just saying the word ground and grounded quite a bit a few minutes ago, talking about circle. This podcast, Brene Brown, and her book, Strong Ground. What a fascinating podcast to listen to. And I got through most of it. The rest of it will happen today. But this is a lady who published a book based on an experience that she had in London at the Teddington Locks, which is right there on the Thames River. And she talks about Father Thames and Mother Thames.
Other times.
And their loving but yet also contentious relationship. But the lock system, and I'm a little bit familiar with the one on the Champlain Canal there, the intercoastal waterway coming out of Champlain. But the complexities of these lock systems, how long they've been around for, what they do, the purpose that they serve in order for us to move from one place to another, and the metaphorical illustration that she has about this coming into our own lives is absolutely fascinating. How so many of us, at the end of the day, we haven't fully shifted gears on that drive home at the end of that busy day. Maybe it was at the workplace, the office or whatever. We haven't fully shifted gears. And by the time we have arrived in our driveways, we need just a little bit more time to randomly just dead scroll through TikTok or Facebook or whatever before we transition, before we open that door and step out of the car and then open the door into the house.
Well, and Brene Brown is one of my professional crushes. She has a social work background. She's published a lot, a couple podcasts that are Unlocking Us and Dare to Lead. And this is part of the Dare to Lead podcast. And she talks about locking in and locking through. And, you know, when we're right now, you and I are locked in. We're having a conversation. We're focused on each other. We've minimized the distractions. But in 20 minutes, I'm going to transition. I'm going to step out of the room I'm in and be involved in whatever's going on in the house. And, you know, we make a lot of transitions in our lives. And oftentimes what she talks about is we're not cognizant of our mental state as we're making that transition.
Right.
And for me, tying it, you know, it resonates with Sweethearts and Heroes. When we go into Circle, we start with activators. And those activators are partly to build small shared moments of vulnerability, but it's also that transition for people to have a fun activity from whatever they were doing before we sit down in Circle and have a conversation.
Yeah.
And there's a lot now, and I'm fascinated by our brains and the research around our brains. And what she talks about is how that switching we do when we go from one to another. And I mean, you're talking about the weather right now. And, you know, we go through a transition. We don't think about it as a transition, but when you go outside, you're walking through, you're putting on your coat, you're putting on your gloves, you're getting ready for what's going to be there.
You're committed.
But if you just get out of your, you know, if you just walked out of your house without anything, there would be turbulence, there would be issues,
Sure.
There would be concern. And when someone comes home and just gets out of the car and walks into their house without being mindful of that transition, whatever they were carrying with them from the drive, from work, whatever, they makes it hard for them to be present
Sure.
with the people in their house in that situation in their house when they really need some of that time to just kind of settle themselves. And my wife and I, it struck a chord with me too, because when I was a middle school principal, there were days I would come home and say to my wife, I just need a half an hour. I got to go for a bike ride. I got to go for a walk. I
Yeah.
need to go to the gym. And just I've emoted so much for everybody during the day.
Yeah.
I need time to regroup that before I can be present for her.
Sure. And we're walking. So many of us are walking through the door to, as Brene says, chaos. Kids, we got. What time is it? We're running late. It took us too long to get home because the roads were bad. Now we're running late for dinner. The schedule's thrown off. We got soccer practice. The kid's upset, not feeling well, whatever it is. And even not, even just coming home to your partner. You got stuff that's still swirling around, still bouncing around in that house. And, we have to be patient to allow ourselves to come into that compartment and slowly allow the water to fill up or to reduce down so that we can transition smoothly to the next chapter. Without the locks, we're going right over the edge of the waterfall, Winton.
Well, and even I love the part she talks about, if the water is not at the same level, if
Yeah.
it's even a half inch off,
Sure.
there's going to be turbulence and it's going to rock the boat.
Yes.
And if you think about, she talks about that backstream pressure, it may be a half inch at the lock, but it's a half inch for the length of that river or that canal.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of pressure coming in to cause that turbulence. So
Sure.
I think it really, and part of what strong ground means is, are we grounded? Have we grounded ourselves for what we're doing? And she advocates for having those conversations with family members, loved ones, to say, when I come home, I need this. I need to sit in my car for 10 minutes before I come in the house. Or when I come in the house, I need to just go do this. Or I need, after work, I know it's taking more time away from family, but I need that 45 minutes at the gym to be able to come home and be present. And it's having the courage to have those conversations with those people that you're with. It also made me think about, I oftentimes take a deep breath. Like when I was at work, I would be about to walk into a classroom or something, and I'd be like, and people would walk by me and say, "Are you okay?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm just transitioning.
Yeah.
I'm letting go of everything else I was just dealing with, so that when I go into this next situation, I can be present."
Yeah.
And that's a key part of building connections and building those relationships that we so desperately need.
Yeah. Wow. So well said. And come on, man, let's be honest. So many of us listening right now are guilty of this. And we shouldn't be ashamed of it. It's just, it is what it is, man. There's just a lot of stuff going on. Can you imagine being, and I cannot imagine being a first responder, being an EMT, being a doctor, an ER nurse, whatever, fireman, police, whatever. And man, it's like, when the clock strikes and your shift is over and it's time for you to go home, even if you've got a 45-minute, hour-long commute home, I don't know how you're doing it. I don't know how you're able to shake everything out, clear out the head, and shift such a huge gear into being a husband, being a wife, being a partner, being a dad, being a mom, and just coming into this whole new life so quickly in a matter of, and so many of us don't allow that time for the water to rise. Things happen so fast, and we don't have the luxury of having a 30-minute commute home to clear our heads.
No, and that we're, further challenged by social media and so many other places that are adding to our cognitive load, automatic videos coming up next and things that don't give us the opportunity to really make those conscious choices about what we're doing. And that's really, it's being conscious of, for me, being conscious of our thoughts, and so that we can make those transitions and what we need to do that. And I think that there's just so much to it, that it's that's why I sent it to you, because it's one of the things that I've been thinking a lot about lately. And I know a lot of people, it's a challenge that we all have.
Sure.
Busy lives and things. And, if you've got kids that need to go to practice and everything else, and we experience it out here with my nephew, who's a manager for the basketball team, and he's got practices and things to get to at different times, and it's like, wow, you gotta be ready to transition, but you gotta prepare yourself for that in order for people, so that you're not that person driving that's giving the dirty look to the person next to you, or coming into that hospital and not being able to say hi to the receptionist with a smile on your face.
Sure. And be present. And you said earlier the words "be present" so much. Brene talks about putting stuff, compartmentalizing, putting things in different baskets, and that's so important. So many of us need to try and do a better job at that going into the new year, man. Just try to take 1 hour at a time sometimes, one day at a time, or maybe an hour at a time.
And the present is what we have.
Yeah, that's right.
The past is the past, and the future, we talk about hold on, possibilities exist for the future. We don't know what those possibilities are. There's 100 different things, 1,000 different things that could happen in the rest of today for you and I that we can't predict. But so what we have now is the present, and being present will lead us in those steps in the future.
Yeah. Well said, man. Listen, I hope that at some point if you're out this way, we can get you in the studio, with or without Tom, with or without Rick. I would love to have you in here, man. And
I'll be able to talk more if Tom's not there, but
anyone would be able to talk more if Tom wasn't here. And I freaking love that guy.
Yeah. He's amazing.
Had a conversation with him the other day. Didn't agree with everything that he had to say. But then when I hung up, I'm like, you know what, though? He's the kind of guy where he wouldn't want you to agree with every single word that's coming out of his mouth.
Yeah. He loves it. He wants to be challenged, because he wants to, he's constantly thinking and rethinking and taking in new information, and it's incredible. So
listen, man, the beard looks great. It's filling out.
Thank you.
It's filling out. You look good, man. Happy 2026, and please connect in with me again real soon. All right, Winton?
Definitely, and thanks for getting the year off to a great start for everybody. And 2026, it's not 2025 anymore, so here we go.
That's right. I'm already telling you right now, I'm going to go back and re-listen to this one. Great stuff, man. Thanks, brother.
Yeah.
So much.
Thank you, JD. Have a great day.
All right, buddy. You too. Winton Buddington, right there. one of the big hitters with Sweethearts and Heroes, and just such a great guy. Never met him in person, but feel like I know him so well. Good morning, everybody. If you're just joining us, thank you so much for tuning in. I want to give a shout out this morning to Locarno's To Go. We're just talking about a busy life. So many of us are running around. We're 5 minutes late to everything. Go, 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 go. Right here in central Vermont, Locarno's To Go is serving up deliciously easy weekly grab-and-go meals that are perfect for anyone, any family that's on the go. Made fresh, made locally, and prepared by local chefs, Melissa and Craig. So many of us know these great people. A new menu every week. They're constantly thinking up of new fresh foods to incorporate. Available. Where now? Hill Street Market, Green Mountain Community Fitness, which is awesome. I see so many people flying out of the gym, grab their meal to go from Locarno's, and they're gone. Also, Harrington's store has them. Support local. Eat well. Simplify your life with Locarno's convenient, ready-to-enjoy meals. LocarnosToGo.com. Got a busy weekend for sports. Playoffs on Saturday. It's going to be amazing. Sunday they continue. Everybody and their brothers could be watching the Texans and Steelers on Sunday night. I think most of us know that. I want to shift gears this morning for a few more minutes. And I'm going to share something with you on the screen here on the monitor. And you can have a gander at it if you want to have a look at it, you can. But it's an article that came out yesterday in the Times Argus, and I'll put it on the screen right here for you. Have you seen this? Have you read this? Do you have an opinion? And you know what? If you do, share it with us. 249-3259. Do it right now. 249-3259. Ethics complaint filed against 5 Vermont legislators who went on a paid trip to Israel. A lot of attention going to Representative Gina Galfetti. What say you about all of this? Do you have an opinion? Good morning.
Good morning. I have an opinion.
There we go. Take it away. Oh, it's
First of all, I
Rex.
don't know. It is. First of all, I don't know any of these representatives personally. Okay. So this is not a personal attack on anything whatsoever. We're talking about and I can only relate to Barrytown because I live so close. I've lived in Barrytown. I live on the border of Barrytown and Williamstown. So it's actually one of my representatives. And I guess it bothers me, like, why we don't have tax money to pay for our needs. Have you seen the potholes on Robar Road? The potholes coming around Barrytown? Just we don't have any of that, and not even get onto the national level of healthcare or any of that stuff. Just we don't have housing, we don't have any affordable housing, but we have enough money to send one of our representatives, and the key word is representative. How are they representing me in Israel? What is Israel? I just don't. You're supposed to be representing me. There's nothing in Israel representing me. Or I don't know. Is there a huge Israeli population in Barrytown that someone needs to make this make sense to me, because this is very bothersome that our tax dollars is going for something so ridiculous when we've been told that, we need to tighten up. The economy's not great right now. There's just a lot of things going on. Where did we find this extra money to send one of our representatives to Israel of all places? What
Yep.
I don't even want to get into like what they do to the people over there. I just like, let's just talk about, I don't care if they went to Israel, I don't care if they went to Italy, I don't care if they went to Florida. What does that have for the constituents of Barrytown?
Apparently, it wasn't tax dollars. Apparently, it was a gift of $6,500 that came from the Consulate General of Israel to New England.
Can you give that guy my info?
Yeah. Give him my address, 58 Robar Road. I'll take a gift from Israel. I definitely would.
Yeah.
So why did they send him a gift? What is it about? What is Israel about to do? What really is going on in the world that representatives from little old Barrytown has to go to Israel?
That was what I was wondering last night.
What are they not really telling us?
Yeah.
Why is Israel sucking up to the lowest level of politicians? We know they own everybody in Washington, both sides, right or left. But why are they going after the low level? Is this how you control elections? Is this how you start? I don't know.
Yeah.
I can think of a lot of conspiracies.
Galfetti says the trip was a limited opportunity while not in session to see things that other politicians have seen, and took issue with the criticism that she and the 4 other state legislators had received about the trip, and said basically,
how does that affect anything positive for her constituents?
I understand.
I'm really,
well, she
the only
says,
thing I'm interested in Israel is for them getting the fuck out of Gaza and stop killing children.
She said,
that's the only thing that I care about Israel.
Yeah. Galfetti said congressional and state representatives from Vermont have taken trips to the Middle East in the past, paid for by supporters of Israel, an ally of the United States. And she says they toured cultural sites.
I don't care if it's done in the past. It doesn't make it right.
The October 7th sites, attack sites, and she said it let us draw our own conclusions.
So it was a propaganda tour for them to get ready to do whatever they're going to do, like take over Gaza and genocide those people. That's all it was. It was a propaganda tour to continue allowing genocide over there. But we all see you now. You were able to hide it before with limited information. You can't hide it anymore. We all see it. We see what they're doing. So thank you. That's all that you did. That was a propaganda tour.
Yeah.
To support Israel. I support America. I support Barrytown. I don't support Israel.
It's a little funky.
It's a
little funky. I think.
And then to get upset about the criticism, that's even more wild.
I agree. Yeah. It's a little weird why 5 from Vermont, this little Green Mountain state. Does anyone? All right, I'm not.
We wield that much power in Barrytown. Yeah. Israel's like, we need these people.
Yeah.
No, it's a propaganda tour. But what? So I don't know. It's a gift. Why don't they gift us some money to fix our roads?
There you go.
I don't need a gift from Israel to send our politicians over there so they can justify killing children.
Yeah. Big email coming in.
They don't want Gaza. Hey, wait a minute. Did you know Israel has its own state? It's always had its own state. It's bigger than Israel. There is a Jewish state in the world. Nobody fucks with them there. And that was the original place. That's where they lived for quite a few thousands of years. And it's on the Russia-China border.
Galfetti is saying that she's received some threats and that she's being asked to resign, and told the Times-Argus yesterday that she has no plans to resign.
Well, then she can deal with her voters. I mean, that's the way democracy, that's the way our constitutional republic works. You can say no, your constituents, they'll get loud. They're going to say something. They say, hey, we don't agree with this. So, and if you're a politician and you're that arrogant about your job and you're like, well, screw you, I'm not resigning, I didn't do this, then now it's up to the voters to take the next step.
Yeah.
So will this be enough for the voters to say, you know what, I don't think she's representing us? Or is she right? Is she sitting there going, yep, good luck getting me out. I have enough friends. So there's that.
Yeah. The complaint alleges the local lawmakers, reading directly from the Times-Argus, violated state law by accepting gifts from the Israeli government, including
I was going to say, isn't that an ethics violation? Isn't that kind of like lobbying and shit illegally?
Yeah. That's
a campaign violation?
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like when Elon Musk made up that Ruth Bader Ginsburg PAC and then funneled in $290 million.
Trip,
kind of similar.
Round trip travel to Israel, 4 nights in 5-star hotels in Jerusalem and Tel Aviv.
So do you think, think about this.
Hold on. It included meals and travel in the country with guided programming events.
Perfect. So now think about the intelligence side of that. Did they pick these people because they think these people are going to go up further into that chain of politics? So they wanted to maybe get some intelligence on them. What was in those hotels? What did they bring security with them to sweep those fucking hotels for bugs? Because do we think that the Israelis spy on fucking everybody in the world? I don't know. Ask Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, we can't. You know where I'm going with this? Like, you just opened yourself up to a foreign intelligence agency, and you're naive to it. I don't know. Kind of fun conspiracies.
Yeah.
Wrapped around a little bit of reality.
Hey, JD, this is Ed. You want to hear my part of this? This is a lesson I've learned.
Dear Lord. Yeah, just
we're on a materials trip,
Jesus.
And we've been on a philosophical adventure.
I'm on a kick today.
Yeah,
it's not bad. It really isn't bad.
Just speak up speak up close to the phone so we can hear you, buddy.
It's more of my own hot-headedness that has led me to some not awesome learning situations. So here's what I'm learning this week, that if I have an opinion, the only person my opinion hurts is me. If I get so worked up over anything, then that's on me. So yes, is it a little messed up that this chick accepted $6,500? Yeah, but the world's keeping track. If she fucked up, she fucked up. That's on her. What I can do is not give a fuck about that lady and let whatever good or bad is coming to her come to her. And that I have to move on. Do I want to get worked up and say, what the fuck? Why isn't anyone sending me $6,500? Absolutely. But what am I doing? I'm just wasting energy on being mad at this lady that I've never met who got $6,500 because I did it.
Maybe we should do a little GoFundMe. So the three of us.
Dude, if you could get me $6,500, I'll kiss you.
Right.
Mouth kiss.
I think we should go and
Did he say mouth
we should
kiss?
take a trip to Israel.
Oh, yeah.
My grandmother used to go to Israel all the time.
No, we should go somewhere where we can have some some more fun.
Hookers. Sorry. I mean, I was gonna bring up my Christmas book that came in late. The Hookers and Blow.
Yeah, that's a great story. Great story.
People think I'm fucking around. I'm bringing that book with me tomorrow.
It's about a tow truck and a plow.
Yes,
let's
it is.
Make sure
it's
that we got that
book.
straight.
Yes.
So the ethics complaint was filed by the Vermont and New Hampshire chapter of Jewish Voice for Peace. which describes itself as the world's largest Jewish organization supporting Palestine. That's directly from the Times Argus as well. The news release, the press release announcing the complaint yesterday says that Vermont legislators would accept $6,500 in gifts to be lobbied by a foreign government is disturbing in its own right, but
100%.
it is indefensible that the five in question allowed themselves to be lobbied by a government that stands credibly accused by multiple organizations of war crimes and genocide in Gaza.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know,
If I'm being fair with her, I've had some ethic complaints about me in the last week. So, to be fair, I just didn't get money for it. I
listen.
am also fucking up lady who took $6,500. Don't worry, you're not alone.
Yeah.
However, I can freely talk about it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you in every way I'm fucking up.
Yeah. Boys, have a beautiful rest of your day.
We're coming down to beat you up now.
Yeah. Doors are locked. Doors are locked. We have a Barrytown resident I would love to have on the air with me. Shadi Bata, 249-3259. 249-3259. Come on the air. Call me on Messenger, too. That's fine. Take it. I know that there's other perspectives here on this. I know there's other opinions. I want to hear them. I want to hear them. Don't be afraid to call. Don't be afraid to say what you got to say. I think that's this ethics group, this ethics commission, was taken by surprise by this, and I think they've got a lot of work to do with an investigation to this trip. I don't know that I would want to be a member of the state House ethics panel right now. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think anyone really right now knows what's going to happen, if there's going to be any kind of disciplinary actions, as the Times Argus suggests that there could be. But, 249-3259 if you want to call in this morning. Or you can remain silent. But know this, your opinion matters. I would love to hear what you have to say. We're getting a call right now.
Hi.
Go for it, man. Take it away. What say you? Please enlighten me.
It's not about what you guys are thinking. It's just if you look to the last session, after everything that's been happening in Gaza and in Israel, those representatives sponsored the bill in the House Education. So technically, bottom line, the bill is H310. You're more than welcome to just search it. And if you just read the bill, it's technically saying if you're criticizing the state of Israel, you're anti-Semitic, which doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm a dual citizen. I moved to this country for a reason from Israel. I couldn't live there anymore. I wanted my kids to have a better future. And I decided to reside in Barrytown. And Back in my days, I used to work at legislators as an IT, and I used to work with all those representatives, including Topper and Gina. And I'm just looking through my emails. I just was surprised that Gina saying that she wasn't approached, or Topper, of course, wasn't. She doesn't know anyone from Gaza or from Israel or Palestine. I did email her, an email Topper, back in February. I'm just looking at my emails right now, 24th and 2024, when there was some legislators that decided to do the right thing and just write a letter to President Biden and ask him to, do a ceasefire. So simple. And I could share that email with you if needed. It's public records, anyone could ask for that also. And I asked Gina on Topper to please sign the letter as a Beirut town resident, as a Palestinian Israeli that have friends in Israel and Palestine, both Arabs and Jews. My family is there. My friends are there. And I asked them to just sign it. And they wouldn't even bother to respond to my email. And I've seen them at the State House more than once as, part of my job. I did that. I did send that email to the 150 House representative and the 30 senators, not just to Gina and Topper, which happened to be my House representatives. I sent that to my senators. Some of them did ask me how I'm doing, how my family is doing. Gina and Topper did not even bother to ask that question. So I was surprised actually to see that, like, that they're sponsoring a bill that is technically limiting my freedom of speech, if you look at it bottom line. Because if I want to criticize the state of Israel, I'm allowed to do that. If I want to criticize anything that is happening in this country, I'm a citizen. That's my right.
Right.
That's my First Amendment.
Isn't that awesome?
So, it is awesome, but I'm just like, it's bothering me that we left all the problems that we have here, not just in Beirut town, okay? Not just in Beirut City, where we live. In this whole state, we are a small state. We're not like, we can't do anything, to be honest, when it comes to global politics. So we left all that and we decided to focus on going to a trip and planting the Vermont flag on a stolen land or an occupied land that happened to be a Palestinian village. It's just ridiculous. Just thinking about people forgetting about why they were elected for, what they were elected for, when they did swear that they're gonna put this country and this state the first day of session, and they start like going on those trips. It's just like, it's ridiculous to think about something like this is happening in modern days. Like, think about it, like, just to give you some perspective. What would happen if those representatives were paid by Russia to criticize what's happening in Ukraine? Just to add to this whole nonsense, I'm not agreeing with anything that is happening back home. Okay? I have friends in both. I have friends that are Christians, Muslims, and Jews, and we always lived in peace. It's just the politics, that are trying to weaponize people against each other back home is ridiculous. And we have nothing to do with that as Vermonters. We need to focus on what's good for Vermont, especially being a small state like Vermont. We already have our senator, our House representative, Congresswoman, which happened to be a Jewish, speaking for Vermont. We need our representative to focus on people, not on anyone else. That's all. If you have any questions for me, I'm more happy to answer them.
That is, listen, man, I am zipping my mouth because I am listening to you with all of both ears and 100% of my heart, man. I mean, this is amazing to hear what you've said and to hear what a Barrytown resident is saying.
And not to align me to any party, because I don't align myself to any Republican or Democrat. After I saw how complicit everyone was at the State House, when I asked them and I gave them a personal example of me, myself, my family, my friends, and I urged them to sign a simple letter that's not going to do anything, they decided to ignore me. And that was the reason that I couldn't work with those people.
You feel like they didn't want to get involved on that level, but accepting a trip there for a couple of days, staying in a 5-star hotel.
I'll take that trip.
Yeah,
I know the hotel.
Meals,
I would love to stay in Jerusalem in that hotel.
Meals included. Yeah, all of that. Yeah, I hear you, man.
I would love to eat the falafel and the hummus and all the good food that they had to experience there, but they need to look at things that are affecting people in the state of Vermont and affecting the people that elected them to office.
Yeah.
Not a foreign state.
You know, one of the takeaways that I had when I read this yesterday was that $6,500 really is a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction here, but $6,500 is not a ton of money. You know, number one. Number two, how should these representatives responded? What should they have done? Should they have collectively gotten together and said, "Hey, let's make it publicly known that Israel has offered us $6,500 for 4 nights in 5-star hotels in Jerusalem and Tel Aviv, and some guided tour guides and round trip travel and everything. Let's let everyone in Vermont know that we were offered this, and that we responded by saying, you know, with love and respect, we decline. However, if you would like to still send us that money for something that we need badly here in Vermont, please do."
Not to, you know what? You want to go to Israel, go to Israel. I urge every American to try to go out of their comfort zone and explore other cultures and other nations. That is awesome. Trust me, as someone that traveled all over the world before I decided to settle in Vermont, it's good to travel.
Yeah.
But don't be sponsoring bills. Okay, don't be changing the laws in my state where I decided to purchase a house and call it my home to technically suppress my First Amendment. Go anywhere you want, okay? Don't sponsor laws that will restrict me as an American citizen. I am exactly like you. I am an American citizen. I pay taxes. Okay. I have the right, okay, to be in this country. I wasn't born and raised here, but I decided to make this state my home. Decided to make Berrytown my home.
Another thing that struck me, and I want to know how you feel about this,
Mhm.
is there's listen, we're all guilty of emotionally reacting to things that happen in our lives. It was bothersome to me that Vermonters apparently and allegedly um, have put forth some threats to Representative Galfetti. Um, she says she was disturbed and unsettled by the reaction of these threats, and now she's got the police involved to apparently protect her and her family and her home. Man, it's so easy to cross a line. I mean, I understand that so many of us are ticked off by this, and it's left a bad stain on the legislature on day one, and a bad taste in many of our mouths. But
Mhm.
I'm not sure that we need to threaten anybody. What say you about that? What's your feeling about that? Either way, no matter what you say, man, it's your opinion, and I respect it.
The law is the law, okay? You can't just threaten people and not
Yeah.
to be held accountable.
Yeah.
I was so aggravated about that. Before this came even to the ethics, I knew about the trip, okay?
Yeah.
I knew about the trip.
Really?
I did not want to engage, didn't want to approach anyone because I knew that that's not going to change anything. I work with those people at the state house. I give them a personal example, okay, that I survived those wars, and if we keep supporting Netanyahu and his extreme right-wing government, things will escalate. And just they did not listen, which is, so why bother and talk to them about anything? But of course, I'm not going to choose violence and I'm going to threaten them. Okay, they are entitled to their opinion as much as I am entitled to my opinion. I'll do whatever I need to do to protect my family, to protect my kids, because my kids are different. They look different. They have my olive color, so they're not white in a Berrytown school, and they've been told a lot of things. But that's not the subject that we're discussing here. It's sad that other people think that they could threaten an elected official. Okay, that's why you have the Capitol Police. That's why you have the state police that could investigate. But like sometimes you need also to be like aware of your decisions. We are not kids, you know. If you knew that this will affect you, you should at least like the best part about it, before this came to the ethics, they were talking about holding up, a forum, all of the five of them, uh, to answer to people and share how was their trip and all of that stuff. Then somehow they decided not to do that. I was ready to go and talk to them. Even that I knew that it's not going to change anything. But it's sad that people are trying to threaten people. Like we're not living in the days that you didn't have cameras everywhere and social media and they could track everything that you do. Like it's just like
Yeah.
you can't do this kind of stuff anymore. It's just, but people are frustrated, and sometimes when some people show their frustration in a different way, they can't control their emotions, especially when you're talking about what's happening and how things just keeps escalating back home no matter what,
Yeah.
ceasefire, not ceasefire. It's just like we can't just talk about what's happening back home before understanding the whole picture before October or before what happened in October. People just don't take me as an example and mark my words. People don't just decide to leave their home country and move somewhere else because they don't like the food or
Right.
they woke up one day. And I did my research before I moved to Vermont, and I decided to move to Vermont because I wanted to raise my kids in a safe state. And it's sad that the legislators, everyone at the state house, kind of forgot somehow about us, and they're just doing whatever they want to do. Both parties, not just Democrats or Republicans.
Agree.
It's just so sad that it's making life kind of impossible in this state with healthcare costs, with you know you go to the grocery store, it's crazy the
Yep.
amount of money that you spend for regular stuff that you used to just buy.
Health insurance, mental health, infrastructure, drugs, housing,
Yeah,
homelessness.
exactly. Like we have a housing crisis that we need to look at, and it's been like Gita. It's I don't know how to explain that. English is my third language. It's sometimes I get so like frustrated with things that I can't express or explain them. But bottom line, we need to focus on the people in this state. We don't need to focus on any other state now. We need
Listen,
just to focus.
any of us would love to go away for a couple of days anywhere and
Yeah,
enjoy some food and some culture. I think this may have been an opportunity for these legislators to react differently and uh, shine the spotlight on doing better, doing better for your state in some way, even if it was just to not receive, a measly $6,500 isn't going to pave a lot of roads here in Vermont or solve a lot of problems. But just by refusing that, I think would have spoke some pretty good volume.
it's not just that, JD. It's just don't sponsor bills that will
Yeah,
favor a country that
right.
have nothing to do with Vermont.
Nothing.
Nothing other than maybe Ben and Jerry's. I don't know. They have factories there.
I hear you, man, loud and clear.
It's just
And
like don't. That amount of money that they paid is technically to have those legislators pass or put bills that might be passed or might sit on the wall in that committee forever,
yeah,
and they won't become laws. But don't. If you want to go to anywhere, go. I'm encouraging you to go visit other countries and learn about other cultures. But don't be sponsoring bills for this country. Period.
yeah. That's lobbying.
Exactly.
How do I pronounce your first name?
It's an Arabic name, Shadi, Shah, not Shah, Shadi. It means happy or singing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope at some point that I have an opportunity to meet you in person. And man, I'll tell you, you have really brought a lot to the microphone this morning, to our audience, and I got a couch here that I would love to have you sit on next to me sometime and chew on this a little bit more, because I think many of us need to hear similar stuff of what you're saying here.
I would
in
love
my humble opinion, it's very well rounded.
It is. It is. I would love that. It's just like I am sick of what I call it othering, us and them.
Yeah.
Okay, what is affecting me is affecting you the same. When you go to the store.
Amen.
Yeah, it's just everything that is happening is affecting all of us. And we just need to focus and just like instead of saying us and them and me and look what they're doing, and this is called othering, and that was part of the reason that I left that country.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing that happen here, unfortunately.
Rex was just saying earlier in maybe not the most eloquent way, but basically saying, the way that we should respond here, and Glenn says it here in the comments, violence will not solve anything, nor will threats, but maybe we should respond with our vote. I mean, that's really what we have at the end of the day. What's holding the most water is our voice. Would you agree?
Yes, I would agree. Myself, I ran for the select board in Berry Town because I wanted to see change in town. Okay, that's your vote is your voice. If you want change, you can't just sit on your couch and do nothing.
Yeah.
If you want change, you need to go out there,
right,
and do things. And that starts with our schools. That starts with our community.
Yeah.
That starts with your neighbor, even.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing perspective. And I appreciate your time so much this morning.
Yeah, I need to get back to work.
Yeah, man. Let's meet up soon, all right?
Yeah, I would love that. I'm just have a busy schedule with kids and
I hear you, man.
Life and like everyone else.
Same here. Let's make it happen now. All right.
Awesome. Thank you so
Thanks
much.
for connecting, man. Thanks, Shadi. Wow. I know there's going to be a lot of comments here on this. Please put your opinion in. Say what you got to say, but just try to be respectful. Try. Okay? I know this is a hot button. I know a lot of us are worked up about it. Some of us are saying, and I saw the comments last night, not a big deal. Get over it. Didn't hurt anyone here in Vermont. Move on. I mean, there's a lot of that. I wouldn't say that's the most popular response I've seen, but there is some of that. I shouldn't say there's a lot of that. There is some of that I've seen. Maybe 80-20 of Vermonters that are not happy about this. So, stop and think. My friend Tom had such an amazing perspective the other day when we spoke. Viktor Frankl. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. And in our response lies our growth and our freedom. Go forward today with that in your mind with regard to this story, this local story here in Vermont. Take a deep breath before you get on the keyboard and think. God bless everyone. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday. Tomorrow, Rex is going to be in here, and I will try so hard to get a word in edgewise. I will. If I have to jump across the couch and choke him out, or at least try to, I will. But I know he's going to have some more insight here on this, and I'm going to try to keep it as well-rounded as possible and balanced. We'll see what happens tomorrow morning. And then G is going to take us headfirst to the weekend on Friday, and, man, he's going to light this place right up. It's going to be an amazing rest of the week. Take good care. If you enjoyed this podcast episode, make sure to give a like, give a follow, drop a comment, give a share, tell your friends. Thanks for following. Man, we got a whole bunch of new followers over the last couple of months. Incredible. And I appreciate you. 1 hour at a time today as we push forward. Thanks to Winton Buddington from Sweethearts and Heroes. What a superhero that guy is, for spending so much time with me this morning and giving some just incredible content to the microphone. And thanks to Shadi for coming on with me just a little while ago. Eyes wide open. They very much are. Take good care. We'll catch you tomorrow morning right here in the Aired Out Podcast.